News 8. This is a special presentation of Adam Interviews. Here's Adam Chodak.
Juan and Maria Contreras could not have walked a more divergent path than that of Gary Bykirk. But all of them ended up here in Rochester, helping people in their own way. Juan and Maria through their empanada shop in the public market and so much more, and Bykirk through his work with kids as a school counselor and the lessons he learned after saving lives in Vietnam and receiving the Medal of Honor for his actions. Thank you for the meal. This is lovely.
You're very welcome. I see you enjoyed it quite a bit.
Oh, it's delicious. The sauces, everything.
Uh-huh.
So you're Juan and Maria.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, yes. Well, this is Maria, right? I'm not Maria. This is Maria. I'm Juan.
How did Juan and Maria happen?
In the kitchen of our table over 20 years ago. But if you really take it back, it was back in the 70s, actually, when we had the first food truck, unofficially the very first food truck in Rochester. That was back in 1980, which at the time nobody knew what a food truck was, including us. We just called it a kitchen on wheels, and a mobile kitchen. That's what we called it. And we went to festivals, and then in the year 2000 is when we had the opportunity to get get established here in the market. And Maria's the one that thought that maybe empanadas would be a good dish, and we started selling maybe, I don't know, 40, 50 empanadas on a Saturday, because again, Rochester didn't know what they were. We used to sell a bunch of hot dogs and hamburgers and French fries and breakfast sandwiches, and that's how it took off. We haven't sold one of those in so many years now. Yeah. You know, now we do 1,000 empanadas every Saturday.
So it's one thing to serve the people and have this great idea, but you did more than that. You sent empanadas to WROC. You started the Spanish festivals. What encouraged you to do that?
We just love the community. We just love to be involved. I felt back in the, when I first came in 1970, there was really very little known about the true identity of the Spanish community that later was called the Hispanic community. It used to be called Spanish community. And so we just wanted basically to share the true Spanish community from all 20 Spanish-speaking countries with Rochester, with Monroe County. So we started the festivals. We were able to produce the festivals. We were able to sponsor the festivals, organize the festivals. We did 4 or 5 here at the market, and then 6 flags there in Lake.
Where did this entrepreneurial spirit come from for you?
I was 8 years old in Chile when I started my first little business. It was in a public market in Chile, in Santiago to be specific, and I made myself a little cart, just a little box cart with a couple of wheels, and I used to go and talk to people and say, you know, you can put your bags here and I'll take it home for you. And there was a lady in the public market that used to make empanadas, which I think actually marked me at the time.
After the war, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but many people are, that I spent 2 years living in a cave trying to deal with the war and trying to deal with what the Medal of Honor means.
A war hero looking to escape, trying to forget, upset with his treatment upon returning home. His retreat, though, was not in vain. It was at the edge of pain he found a path to peace.
But the honor that comes with this Medal of Honor is that it represents something greater than one person who did one act on one day. It represents millions of men and women who serve every day sacrificially. It represents their families who give because they care for something more than themselves. It represents a different way to live your life, loving others more than yourself.
One person he's loved now for more than 4 decades is his wife, Laureen, whom he met during his brief sojourns down from the mountain for a hot meal.
That love brought me out of the cave. I found out that forgetting isn't getting better. Getting better is finding someone who's willing to come into the cave with you, who's willing to be with you and to hear your hurt, to share your hurt, just to listen.
Bykirk's faith grew with his determination to live that different way, a way that took him to a Greece middle school as a guidance counselor.
Yeah, right.
You said you went to the middle school thinking that if Deo could do what he did at 15, that there would be that essential fortitude in other kids his age.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that to be the truth?
I think about this one particular student who I had a background on because I had her older sister. And when the older sister left, she said, "Mr. B, my sister's coming in and she's going to be a hard one." And so when I met her sister as a sixth grader, as soon as she saw me, she knew the history, and so she walked away. She said, "I don't want anything to do with you, leave me alone." And she was just, you know, you talk about walls and caves that we go into. Young people can go into a cave just as easily, and they can build up walls that are much stronger than the granite walls of Mount Washington. This girl had walls built because of the things that had happened to her. I always would walk up to her, what I call knocking on her door, just let her know that I was there. That happened 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and most of the time she'd just give me a one-finger gesture and walk away, if I was lucky. Other times there was a barrage of expletives that would accompany that one-finger gesture. But I saw her in 8th grade when she left, and I said, "If there's ever a time you want to talk, I want you to let you know that I'll be there for you." One night about midnight, I got a phone call, and I said hello, and she said, "Mr. B," she said, "You once told me that you'd talk. Can we talk now?" And I said, "Sure." So we met at the Wegmans on the corner up there at 12 o'clock at night and had a cup of coffee. She was 23 years old. See, it may not always be easy, but I believe that people can change. And it was things like that that brought me in every morning and trying to make a difference in the life of the young people there.
Thank you for watching this Adam Interviews special. Next year, we'll enter our 4th year of the series. More people making an impact, sitting down with me to talk about what they do and why they do it. And from them, we draw inspiration and insight. Good night.